Wow. A lot of you are asking me what effects I'm using. How do I get my tone? Oh, there's my pants. Well, shorts. Um, okay, I'm gonna use my cell phone to do this because the video camera is good for distance and recording myself playing guitar, but when I try to zoom, everything's out of focus and it's just a pain in the ass. So I'm going to use my cell phone to show you what effects I'm using. I'm not using a lot. Okay, let's flip the camera. Oh, and I've got the camera protector. Oh my god, here, I'm going to pause this so I can move this camera protector out. Okay, there we go. Okay, so effects. Well, I'm going through an EVH 5150 412 cabinet. That's my subwoofer on. It's kind of on its back because when it's lying down, it vibrates and it cuts out. So I found that it doesn't vibrate and cut out when it's up like that. So EVH 5150 412 cabinet. Like I've said in previous videos, this is my Boss 100 watt Katana Mark II. And the effects I'm using is either this one. I'll put that right here. It's this one, the Metal Zone, the Boss Metal Zone MT2W, and I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't really see it, but down here it says there's a switch here that goes from S to C. When it's on the S, it's a really scooped sound. And when it's on the C, it's scooped, but it heightens, because it even says there mid-frequency. It heightens your mid-range. I've got the treble and the bass cranked, and I've got the other mids down to nothing, and obviously the distortion up full. On my amp itself, I'm on the acoustic channel, gain at nothing, volume at full, and you can see how I have my bass and mid and treble. I usually have my boost, as you can hear it. Hear a hum. This is boost. And can I get my finger in the little pop socket thingy? Yeah. I used to have it on the green setting, but I found if I put it on the yellow setting and don't have it up, I don't know if you can see the white marker there to show you how loud it's getting. Yeah, you can see it. When you run the head via USB cable into the computer, the Boss Katana website pops up and you can start adjusting what this is. Meaning there's a ton of different effects and shit that I was able to choose from. I picked I'm pretty sure it's Ibanez, because I haven't heard of any other companies making a tube screamer. I'm pretty sure that when I picked it on the computer, tube screamer, that's what entered the memory bank in the amp. So I'm going through the Boss Metal Zone distortion pedal into the acoustic channel, and I've got the boost on set at tube screamer. When I'm doing acoustic, this is chorus. I think it's stereo chorus. I really like the sound of stereo chorus for the acoustic, but then for electric, it sounds real fucking cheesy. It almost sounds like I'm in an 80s hair band trying to sound cool. So I turn off the mod or MOD, turn off the stereo chorus. I don't use effects or delay, and I don't use reverb. The presence, just to clear it up a bit. Obviously, that's the master volume. Solo, never use that. I don't know what contour is, but it sounds the greatest on the green. And when I'm here with my family being home, I keep it on 50 watts. When no one's home and I have my window shut, I put it up to 100 watts. This is cab resonance. Vintage sounds muffled. Modern sounds a little bit clearer, but deep sounds even clearer, and a lot of low end. So that's all I'm doing. Nothing fancy. My Fender Stratocaster sounds like hell going through the actual amp. So when I'm playing my Strat, I either go through my MXR full bore metal distortion pedal, or I don't run into the front of the amp. I unplug this into the back of the amp and go straight into the back, and that's how my Stratocaster sounds okay, because it's a single coil, it's not humbucker. That's it. I want to get a foot switch so I can switch all these settings, obviously, by my foot, instead of playing something acoustic and then reaching over and turning this up or turning that. It's a pain in the ass. So I want the foot switch that goes with this. That's my tone, that's my setup. Boss, Katana, Mark II, 100 watt head, going through my 412 EVH 5150 cabinet, going through my Metal Zone MT 2W Boss distortion pedal. There you have it. That's my tone. That's all I could afford, because this amp was about 800, 800, no, 6. It was under $800, and I'm financing it for like $35 a month for a year. So I would love to have a, here, let's flip it around. I would love to have a, I don't know, a Mesa Boogie dual triple rectifier, the EVH 100 watt head, what else, a Marshall, Laney, anything, but they're expensive, and I don't have that kind of money. I'm not a YouTuber who's getting paid to make videos, because there's one, sure, I'll start doing shoutouts for people. I'm not Ola England. I don't have a ton of money in a studio, and actually he doesn't. The one guy I'm thinking of is the YouTuber Kyle Bull. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna call up his YouTube channel. I was just was listening to some debauchery. Well, how come you just don't put that? 'Cause I don't know how to. Kyle. Nope, not 8. Kyle Bull. Okay, here he is. Fine, I'll give this guy a shout out. I'm not Kyle Bull, who has 40,000 followers, and each video you see him in, he's got dozens and dozens of 100 watt heads behind him stacked on top of each other, and like a couple dozen cabinets. I don't know where he gets that money. There's a lot of YouTubers that have a ton of equipment behind them. Obviously, you have to pay for that shit, right? If EVH or Mesa Boogie, is it Mesa or Mesa? I'm not sure. If Marshall or one of these companies would say, "Hey, Jer and All Things Metal. Hey, Jeremy, we're going to send you a Mesa Boogie triple rectifier, and we'd like you to play through it and give us a review. Okay. Nobody's doing that for me. So what I've got is what I can afford. I don't have the money to go out tomorrow and buy a 100-watt JCM Marshall head. They're like $5,000. I got $5,000. That's even more than my house rent. What I've got is what I can afford. So I'm sorry. That's all. That's all I have. That's all I can do. I gotta make do with what I've got. Again, if a company were to contact me and say, we're going to send you a 100-watt head, we'd like you to play through it and give a review, and then it's yours to keep. Hell yeah. You have to have more followers. I'm only at 228 subscribers. This guy that I just showed you, Kyle Bull, got 40,000. So, I mean, he's obviously getting paid to do these videos. I'm not. I still, at 228 subscribers, get 0. So, that's my, that's where I get my tone. So, I've been asking, what's your tone, what's your setup? There you have it. Pretty simple because that's all I can afford. I would like more pedals on the floor to screw around with, but again, pedals are a couple $100, and I ain't got a couple $100. So, I'm sorry. I've got what I can afford. Thanks for tuning in.